Welcome everyone to episode 46 of the World Stone Keep. We are playing patch 13, the day of, for once. I think this is first. And I don't know about the rest of these guys here, but I haven't been this excited to play since we got beta access, because this patch is basically so awesome.
Though, to be fair, it's technically the day after for me, since it's about 2 a.m.
Is it? Oh,
yeah.
Mr. East Coaster. Did we lose someone? Oh, you switched characters.
I switched. Well, I saw you all were on like 9 to 12, and I'm like, well, I can't be running around on a level 2 barbarian.
Sure you can. Between two wizards, you're not going to kill much anyway.
Yeah.
Nonsense.
Just saying.
I'm pretty sure I'm way faster than you guys.
What did you say back there,
Spinning
Dan?
staff attack.
Can't hear you. Way back there.
So we got some new spells to play around with some of the classes, and some runes. Runes are freaking amazing.
Yes,
They are everything we hoped they would be. And who's got the Christmas banner? Jordan.
It's probably deep.
You can actually, I'm gonna go out here and just say that runes are what make this game.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's so much fun. Holy crap. It can turn a crappy spell or somewhat unusable spell into something awesome.
Did your arcane orb miss everything because I killed everything? Is that what happened there?
No, that was my second one that went over all the dead bodies from my first one.
Oh, I'm pretty sure all of those corpses right there also missed.
I wasn't even over there. What you talking about?
You talking about Willis?
I think you want a duel. I think that's what one needs to go
Yeah,
down.
let's duel. We can duel.
Oh man, if
Right
they
here?
patch in PvP,
That's in patch 4.
like
This situation right here is why they need to have the ability to actually have PvP in a normal game.
Yeah, I agree.
if patch 14 enables arenas,
Just lose it.
I'll probably have to sponge myself down.
In my opinion, how they did the patch is the perfect way how they should do things. They didn't tell us anything about the new system until they were ready to release a beta patch on it. So I woke up this morning and it's like, oh hey, there's news about the skill system out. And it's like, okay, let's read it. Wait, there's a beta patch where I can test these out? You're kidding me.
Yeah.
And so while I read through it, I was downloading a new patch, and then I've been playing it all day. And I haven't sat down and played Diablo 3 beta all day until this new patch.
My story was slightly more sad. See, our good buddy Doomscream informed me of everything last night, and so I knew about it all, but I didn't get to play it until much, much later.
Yeah, I was reading about it last night, but the patch wasn't... Actually, I think I played the patch for about 15 minutes before I'm like, nah, I should just go to bed, because it was not very stable.
Oh, really? There's still some bugs to work out.
That's putting it lightly.
You should have pulled my trick and tried to glitch your way past the gates. That's the way to
Oh, I
do
did
it.
try that. I was playing with Doomscreen this morning. Night for him, because he's like in Bulgaria or something like that. But our game totally froze. We could still talk to each other. We could still run around, but like the monsters were stuck on this infinite loop. And they were the unburied dudes, the giant ones, who sound like lions when they yell at you. So they were just stuck in this loop of yelling at us, and like stuck in like a stun animation the whole time. I actually took video of it because it was pretty funny.
Nice.
But yeah, I was trying to run around to some secret areas, but couldn't find any.
Alright, so who's tried what so far? Have we covered all the classes? Has anyone tried Demon Hunter yet?
I have. And that sweet new skill that looks kind of silly, but it's freaking awesome. It's like it's the Demon Hunter whirlwind. It's
I
pretty
think it
sweet.
looks pretty awesome.
Yeah,
No,
I think I'll have to switch somewhere in here and test it out. But I really wanted to show off the wizard because the wizard is freaking badass in this patch.
I've only played the wizard.
Holy crap!
I've played
Yeah,
the
Wizard.
variant.
Now, Wizard has been one of the best tuned, polished, powerful, just smoothest classes the entire beta,
Yeah.
and so that continues to be the case.
Mm-hmm. Probably because it's Jay Wilson's favorite. Cough, cough.
Oh yeah,
Just
for
got
a good reason.
there.
I've played Wizard, Monk, Witch Doctor, and I got a couple
Munch.
Munch.
got a couple minutes of Barbarian
What
in.
exactly
But
Is that
not
the
much.
lesbian class? Is that inappropriate?
That a little. That one was a little. The monk is good. They're in a pretty solid place. Witch Doctor, I actually think right now the flow for Witch Doctor is worse than it was before.
Yeah, I think I didn't play it very much, but I have to agree.
I haven't
Witch
played it, but those jumping spiders are awesome.
jumping spiders are awesome. It's just the early skill loadout is really kind of awkward. You don't get haunt until level 9. And I still hate poison dart. I still hate it. I don't like it.
Even with
It's
the
not
rune?
very much fun. The rune makes it tolerable.
Yeah. I haven't messed around with it yet.
Oh, something really good with the monk now that I'm thinking about it. Dashing strike is a lot less likely to get caught up on corners.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Oh, they improved the pathing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You'll just
Big
like,
time.
attempt to go around stuff if you run into a collision.
Didn't they do that with Vault as well? They improved the pathing with it.
I would assume so. I mean, it had the same issue.
Yeah.
To be honest, in the patch notes, I don't remember anything about Vault, but I do remember it for the other skill that involves movement, which is
Oh, that
what's it
one.
called?
Level 12.
Basically, the one where you back up when you shoot.
Arcane Torrent.
Oh,
What's this?
that one. Evasive.
Evasive strike.
Yeah,
Basically.
it seems like that was in the patch notes. I don't remember anything about Vault though, so I think that's what happened.
So I think Witch Doctors could use, like, I don't know, and this kind of goes to the whole, we should talk about the skill system. Should we just talk about the skill system now, or do we want to keep...
No, let's jump into it.
Okay, so they have completely restructured the skill system.
More of a reorganized it.
Reorganize, restructure,
Wait a sec. Are you guys ready for this?
regangle.
Watch. Nobody attack. Watch.
Arcane Torrent.
Oh, it's so cool.
I made her drop more loot. You think about that?
So yeah, they restructured everything. Here's a little view of the window, if you haven't seen it. And how does everybody feel about it? The new system.
Conflicted. I think so. Personally, overall, I really like it on the concept level, but there's some specific things about the interface that are terrible.
Such as
I was gonna say,
The whole way that you go about trying to reorganize your skills, and particularly if you're trying to get things on specific bindings. Over the course of the beta, I've gotten very used to Dashing Strike being on my 1 key because, just it fits better into the way that that you want to be using it. It's a skill that you hit fairly often, but it's not one that you're necessarily hitting every, on a constant rotation like you would with, I don't know, kick or whatever. So, but getting it onto the 1 key, like, because of the way that the skill system, the way that you assign skills now through that interface, is you assign them directly to a key, but
Right.
by default they're locked and only certain skills can be assigned to certain keys, and by default Dashing Strike can only be assigned to the right mouse button, so you have to wait until level 4 when you get your 3rd skill unlocked so that you have a 3rd skill slot, but then you need to enable elective mode, and you need to select something else on your right mouse button so that you can assign Dashing Strike to your 1 key.
Yep. So for anybody who doesn't know, the default, it will start you out in this kind of, let me see if I have it on, options, gameplay. Yeah, right, elective mode's off. So when you go to assign a skill, it'll pick skills for you that will be put on that button. So I just selected my left mouse button here, and it gives me primary skills to choose from. And then left mouse button, it gives me secondary. One, it gives me defensive and all that. And so the idea here is to help new players get a comfortable build going. Something that they can ease into the game with if they've never played it before. And if you want customization to move things around how you see fit, you need to enable elective mode here. Apply that, and then you can switch skills as you see fit up top, which I don't see why anybody would not use elective mode.
Well, I mean, the theory behind it is actually pretty sound. If you, for instance, were playing a barbarian and had every one of your skills using, basically using fury but not generating fury, then probably don't know enough about it to select your own skills.
Well, then, on your head be it. Come on now.
Yeah, there's a certain degree of, like, there's a degree of responsibility that the player needs to take for figuring out the mechanics of the game.
Mm-hmm. That's part of the process is, experimenting with skills and different runes and seeing, which build works best for you.
And kind of... I'm all for finding better ways of guiding players through your intent as a game maker and the intent of the game systems, but there is there is a cutoff point where you have to say, you know what, no, you've got to read and you've got to pay attention and you've got to figure things out.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, like, if you don't set that cutoff point, you're just going to the illogical extreme of that is that the game just does everything for you.
Mm-hmm.
The sort of irony to the thing is that what they essentially have done is made it to where only the more experienced players will have to go into the settings to change them to what they need to do. Whereas newer players that don't really know how the system mechanics work will basically have a tendency to leave it on default and go through all these sort of unnecessary things.
I don't know. I kind of really like the new system. I think it's a nice way of splitting everything up into, I don't know, at least with the wizard, I don't know what it is with the other classes. It's a nice way of really laying it out for new players. And if you're a new player, I think it would be really handy to have it like that, especially with a class like the wizard where there's no clear cut, like everything is pretty much an AP drainer minus your signature, and you might not even really realize that. Yeah. I think that, like, at least the way they've laid it out for the wizard, I keep saying that, but like your primary attack on your left mouse button, your secondary attack on your right mouse button, and then your defensive and your control skills are all your 1 through 4. That's pretty much how I have it anyways. I think that was fairly intuitive, but what I don't like is hearing all this stuff about the elective mode being so hard. I thought that when they said that the elective mode was going to be, basically the same way it was, honestly, they probably should just make it the same way it was.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's hard, but it's janky in order to get, like, the thing is I can't just pick my skills and then drag them around into my bindings as I see fit.
I agree with that.
I have to like unselect dashing strike if I want to move it to a different binding
and deal with the cooldowns,
which is half the time now, at least.
Yeah, they sped it up a lot.
Yeah, they did do that. Now, as far Ken was
honestly,
talking about the divisions. Now, I think for Wizard and Barbarian, it really works. It works really well. It's a really kind of intuitive division, like with the 6 things. With the Monk, no. Like, at least 2 of these categories, techniques and focus, are utterly contrived and do not make any sense at all. And the division of, like, okay, well, why is sweeping wind a technique when exploding palm is a primary. Like they're
Well, one actually uses spirit, the other one generates spirit. So that's a
no,
major
they're both spirit generators. Like half of my spirit generators
Oh, you're
are
talking about
classified
Sweeping
as
Wind.
techniques.
I see. Well, Sweeping Wind isn't even in the beta.
It's not, but like Sweeping Wind, Crippling Wave, and Way of the 100 Fists. So Crippling Wave was in the beta, but now it's level 14. You know,
Right.
it's a primary attack. Tons of people would use Crippling Wave as their primary attack. There's no, it's not really a technique. I mean, I would frequently use it as my second spirit generator, but that would technically make it a secondary skill because I would want it to be on my right mouse button.
See,
Sorry, I
but what
just
they're
got
going
a
for
hair
when
across
looking
my-
at that is not people who have actually played it or have any kind of familiarity with it at all. And so they're trying to, maybe the mechanics behind that one are less straightforward than they are with the other ones. I don't know, I'm just trying to think about what
Maybe, but it's a
trying to figure
stupid
out.
place to put it because it is a spammable skill that you're going to want to use fairly frequently, but it's going to be on your 4 key.
Yeah, like I
Let's
say,
move
I
around.
didn't originally look at the later skills, which is why for a minute I thought you were talking about the new ability, which is
Cyclone Strike.
Which is
no,
red.
not Cyclone Strike,
Tempest Rush?
Tempest Rush.
Is that the one
That
with the
is
staff,
red.
spinning staff?
Yes, it is.
the
Tempest
way
Rush
I-
is technically a secondary skill.
The way I see it is like where skills are, like I mean those can still be adjusted around. I'm kind of looking at the overall system as a whole, and I really like it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
overall I
they
think it's
still have
really
tweaking
neat,
to do,
but
you
there's
know?
a
Yeah.
lot of tweaking to do with it.
Like which skills you get when. Like I mean, Arcane Orb every couple of patches gets closer and closer to the beginning of the game. Right now it's actually your level 2 skill, and it used to be like 8 or
It was
9.
And
like-
there's no cooldown on it.
Well, when wasn't it like not even in the beta when we first started?
I thought it was.
I think it was, but it was a later spell.
It was
and
one of the
had a
last spells
fatty
you got.
cooldown on it.
Right.
So it wasn't
And now Arcane Torrent, which used to be like 24, is
Not even close to the betas now in it. Which is cool. Oh, and
Is
one of my
Disintegrate
favorites.
still in it?
Nope, it's out now. Ray of Frost is in though.
Yes, Ray of Frost in its place.
Yeah, I really wanted to try that one.
You get it pretty early on too.
Ray of Frost is awesome.
That's actually the main thing that stuck out at me in the patch notes. I was like, Ray of Frost is in it now?
Yeah.
Which is ironic since I haven't even played it.
So I think Wizard is pretty solid, in my opinion. Barbarian's pretty solid too. Monk, I didn't really like starting out with. I felt he was pretty weak starting out until you got to some of his better skills. I even actually died a couple times starting out a Monk. Just 'cause I was getting beat up, and I only had like 2 skills to choose from. And yeah, it was not good.
See, I thought. Now, I guess I'm probably not the best person to make this judgment about how fragile or what the monk is, since I'm pretty thoroughly familiar with all of their skills.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't really think I've had any trouble surviving in any patch with the monk.
I definitely did, man. I was
Yeah.
struggling earlier.
I mean, they give you blinding flash so early, then that thing's
That's
it
the
doesn't
thing.
break on damage now.
Yeah, I
just
I
like-
tried using that thing, and it didn't last very long. So when I would get surrounded, and it would take me so long just to beat everything down, I don't know, maybe I just wasn't using good enough weapons or something. But
You
that's
weren't
just-
gonna
using a
say,
good enough class.
I don't know how you even managed to get surrounded. I mean, you could just stand on the outskirts and punch things without
Yeah, but
having
the
any
problem was I
difficulty.
was standing there so long trying to punch this one monster to death that everything would just close in around me. I'm like, oh crap, blinding flash! It didn't do shit. I'm gonna die.
I think you're just bad.
That's
Hey,
all I'm saying.
It could be terrible monk. All I know is I had a kick-ass time with the wizard.
Yeah. Witch Doctor, like, yeah, I will say Witch Doctor felt very, very grindy at the
Yeah,
beginning.
he
I
needs
think
his-
part of that is just
his
that it
dogs
starts
are
with a
on.
dot. Oh,
And the
dogs.
dogs also got their damage.
They're
Yeah.
not just like they didn't get it reduced. They might as well have had it removed. They do like nothing now. Like it's bad. They don't do any damage.
They're just little mini tanks now.
They're very tanky, but yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, you need your dogs early on.
Yeah, the interesting thing with the patch notes is that if you look at it closely, the monk and the witch doctor had most of their skills toned down, whereas some of the other classes got everything toned up for the most part.
See, and I don't really get why
Strange
the
with the
Witch
wizard.
Doctor had it toned down, because they weren't exactly
strong
doing
before.
super awesome.
I think we may have to consider the possibility that it's not something that we can see in the beta, since we're playing such a tiny portion of it. That maybe they're trying to balance it for later in the game.
Well, there's some of these skills that are being adjusted by like 5%, which is definitely not something that we'll ever notice in the beta.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just strange, 5%. The wizard, it was strange. Like a lot of the spells got buffs, other than the ones that were obviously too much, like Wave of Force, and Frost Nova doesn't do any damage at all now, which is okay.
What are you talking about? I own stuff with Wave of Force.
Yeah, it used to do way more damage than it does now.
Really?
But
Mhm.
it
Oh yeah.
did a lot of damage. But their AP regen got tanked 2.5 AP, which is actually I'm feeling it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I really dig the fast regen on that.
Which is interesting because, I mean, in the beta it's pretty limited, but I know there's a lot of things to either increase your maximum arcane power or to get it back through crits and other methods. So it's probably also something I won't really notice in the beta.
That's it, little pygmy. Drop me more stuff.
So all in all, I think I would say the Witch Doctor, the Demon Hunter, and the Monk need a little tweaking. That's just my opinion, though. Witch
really?
Doctor or Demon Hunter, not much, just a little bit, because I felt it's not quite on par with how easy the Wizard and the Barbarian are to handle right off the bat.
The only thing that I actually noticed as a critique to the monk was that largely, if you were going for the achievement to get 20 kills in one hit, it's going to be kind of hard to do because he doesn't have any skills that reach
No
far
AoE.
enough to hit. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, the
even-
Trident actually has major AoE. It just doesn't kill everything in one hit.
Yeah, me and Jordan actually did a little test. We were playing earlier. He was on his Monk, I was on my Wizard. And we came to that room with the chest with the 4 pillars that come up and just spawn a bunch of dudes. I was like, alright, don't kill anything, let everything spawn. And then I froze everything and used Wave of Force, and it pretty much took out everything in the room. And then we let everything respawn, and I was like, okay, your turn. And it wasn't pretty.
It was embarrassing, let's be honest. It was really embarrassing.
Well,
To get that
granted-
20 kills, you want to know what I have to do? I face roll. Just roll my face across the keyboard and boom, achievement earned.
Done.
Well, considering at the time you did have a better weapon than I did, you know.
Oh yeah,
Semantics.
blame it on the weapon.
No, it was
Now,
all about the AoE, man.
While we're sort of on something that really surprised me, a rune effect that really surprised me is that I thought piercing trident was going to be like, bee's knees. It was like, I love that skill, and so it's like a rune for it is just going to make it awesomer. But I'm finding myself using fists of lightning with
Yeah,
bounding
chargeable.
light on it with the chain lightning.
Chain lightning, that's what I meant.
Yeah, I actually.
Awesome.
That is one of the coolest looking skills I've seen so far, hands down.
And you know what?
And-
On that... Oh, sorry, keep going.
I was was just going to say, and on that note, the very worst one I have seen so far in this patch version is by far the Grasp of the Dead one.
The maggots?
Yeah.
You don't like the maggots?
No, they are pathetic.
They are pathetic. I like that. I was gonna say this whole like being surprised about what runes do to them and skills that you didn't think you were gonna use that you totally are now.
Yep.
That's probably what's exciting me the most. I am actually super excited about the game again because all the spells that I was using in the beta, I'm like, yeah, I'm totally using this, and I can see that one complementing this playstyle. It's like, no, base skills, no.
Yeah.
No.
I mean,
they don't.
Before this patch, for the Barbarian, I favored Bash over Cleave, just because I felt I killed stuff more efficiently with it. And then the rune effect for Bash is like, it does more damage. And the rune effect for Cleave is, when you kill an enemy with Cleave, it explodes. And holy crap, dude.
If you're going off the first rune effect for Bash, it actually just increases Fury generation.
Oh, is that it? I thought it did more damage.
No, it adds...
Well, anyways, it was something lame, and I was like, okay, Cleave is now my bread and butter.
Right.
Talk about a room clearer, dude.
The initial thing for Bash, you literally cannot even tell it's there unless you're watching your Fury bar. Like, even the effect on screen,
Yeah.
I honestly cannot tell a difference.
Yeah, it's things like, I never was going to use Magic Missile because I was like, this thing sucks, and it takes like 8 of them to kill one guy. And with Rune Effect, all it does is it makes its damage acceptable. Like, I'm actually one-shotting things with it. I'm like, what? And then Shock Pulse, which is probably the giant piece of crap in the Wizard's arsenal, is really sweet because it's like the Cleave. When it kills something, they explode.
Yeah.
And I was actually clearing out large packs with it pretty quickly.
I know we're talking about rune effects, but Tempest Rush by itself, without the rune, is pretty freaking awesome.
Yeah, it surprised me as a skill. Like, I wasn't sure, like, just from the descriptions, I wasn't sure what to think of it, and I'm still not 100% certain if I'm going to use it in a final build, because it does overlap with Dashing Strike in a lot of ways, but they do complement each other at the same time, because Dashing Strike really isn't very good for getting away.
No, it's not.
Not at all. But Tempest Rush is. It's a really good escape skill.
It's a really good get in and get out skill, which in that respect kind of makes it superior. The only major aspect to Dashing Strike is that with the rune effect you can actually run faster. So as long as you're not trapped, you can still use it effectively. The downside to Dashing Strike is that even the rune effect does not kick in unless you hit a target. So,
well, and Dashing Strike, I mean, it's cheaper, it's faster, it goes farther in less time. You can rune it into a stun, and a lot of other things like that. But you can't really use it to get away unless there's a convenient target kind of off on their own.
I have to announce something. So I just got the Frost Nova rune, and a frozen enemy, when killed, has a chance to release another Frost Nova.
Yep.
I just hit 13, which means I'm going to test the new Bash rune. Onslaught.
Do it. What's it do?
I believe it basically makes it to where that effect that comes out is doubled.
Okay.
Yep, removes the knockback and you get 2 reverberations instead of 1. So we're about to see it in action.
All I can say is runes make me horny.
Dude, they are so awesome. I'm so excited for this game again.
Pretty much.
Crap. I can't wait to see what
the double
spells are. Yeah.
That's actually pretty...
Shooting a little fireball at him.
All right, Frost Nova.
Also noticed
I guess there was nothing else to hit them with.
The Ancient Hammer ripple effect. That's pretty awesome.
Oh yeah. We'll wave after it.
Bash just got a lot. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, I think another run through is in order. And this time I'm
Yeah.
Demon Hunter.
I have to try a different class.
Oh man, beta got really fun again.
Really,
Really fun.
I can guarantee you.
I've been finding myself running around with extra gold find items.
Dude, the gold in this patch, holy crap, I am so rich. I finally have an abundance of gold.
How much you got?
15,000 right now.
Yeah, I'm at 14,000 pretty much.
That's with my artisan at level 4. Let's get him to level 5.
I
I like that they have the amount of gold it takes to train.
Yeah, it's awesome. Awesome!
4 3/4 is actually as high as you can get them.
Yeah, that's true. I just did that. Boom! Did they also add some more rares in crafting? I think I noticed a lot more. Switch hero! Was I gonna play? Oh, yes, you.
Oh, unable to create a hero while in a party. Well, screw you, party. I'm out of here.
I was a little sad that that Plague of Toads, the first rune for it, is level 14, because I really wanted to see Explosive Toads.
Oh, I know.
That's very sad.
Oh yeah, there's actually a bunch that like. There's a bunch I wanted to go on the forums and beg. Can I just go to level 14? There's like 8 things I want to try out.
Yeah.
Pretty much. It's extremely sad when you see that level 14 on any of the classes.
But why only the dead reek like this? The fallen star is near.
You guys ready for this?
Yeah. That looks so silly, but it's kind of awesome.
It does. It
I'm
looks
just gonna
silly,
say,
but it's freaking
yes.
bad.
Oh,
That's all I can say.
oh that's awesome.
See? That's all you can say about it. It's awesome.
Alright, here's the runed poison dart. So it's 3 super fast.
My hatred is too
Guys, here's the unruined bash. The level 1 naked barbarian. Are you jealous?
Yes.
Jelly.
Jelly.
So jelly.
Look at my
Wants to see
chest. It's the situation.
Fists of Thunder.
Whirlwind.
So there's the eels, grasping eels.
Are they eels or are they maggots?
They are eels.
Oh,
Yeah, it says eels, but we all know the truth.
they look like maggots.
Sorry,
Nope.
they're not grasping, they're groping.
Oh,
well, now they just
Fire.
became
Risky.
awesome.
It is
Grasping was a little weird, but groping is just
groping. That's, I mean, it's harassment.
So does that strafe just hit like an area? Like it doesn't specifically target just everything
yeah,
within
it
it
just
that
shoots
gets hurt?
everywhere.
Yeah, that
Just like
makes-
the old strafe for the Amazon in D2.
You should
It's
see
just,
what it does to
the old
bases.
strafe actually specifically targeted monsters, though.
I think it does, actually. Like, I think it
I
just
think it's a mixture.
grabs random targets within the range, rather than hitting everything. I don't know.
Oh yeah,
Like,
you can see it. You can see it target a specific monster it's going to shoot.
Not enough hatred.
Like bolts actually come out and shoot at specific guys.
Yeah.
So it works like that. Yeah, that's cool. I like that.
So, like, there's 2 different parts to it. Like, there's the animation of the Demon Hunter, which just shoots everywhere, but then there is a hit animation on targets.
Yeah.
Most grisly sight, a heap of dead bodies.
It's so fun to use.
I was searching them for any items of value. They began to rise.
I love lightning.
Must tell them
moon
of this
effect.
new Tristram before it's too late.
I need to switch my skills. I need to hit level 9 so that I get Haunt.
This
and
game is
better
too
rune.
hard.
Excuse me? Baking powder?
I'm just amazed at how many posts, even after they came out with the "You Will Die" post, that people are still like, "This game's too easy." Like, we know. Stop being stupid.
Something worth
Good luck
pointing
with
out,
that.
like the beta at this point is still easy, but it is really smooth. Like, it's a really nice curve.
Something isn't right here.
Yeah, I would say so.
Now, wasn't it last patch when you like got a new skill and like I just hit level 2, so I got a new skill slot and it opened up Hammer of the Ancients? Wasn't it last patch that if I put that Hammer of the Ancients in, I had to wait for the cooldown?
No,
Not
when
as soon as you leveled up, but if you wanted to switch it after that, you would get a cooldown.
Yeah.
I thought they changed it.
Now, something that does bug me is when you first unlock runes, so like you've got an unruned skill, and then you unlock runes, it puts the cooldown on.
Right.
Still though, cooldown's bearable now.
15 seconds isn't too bad.
Yeah, it's pretty much nothing.
30 was pretty awful, though.
If you don't,
Yeah,
if you don't
30
notice
sucked.
it at this point in the game, way late in the game, you won't even notice it at all.
True that.
It's because by the time you reach the end of the game, you're going to be crawling along on your stomach, hoping that they don't eat you.
Alright, finally level 9. Haunt, here we go.
How do you guys feel about runes not being a physical item anymore?
Okay, I got a lot to say about that, but by a lot I mean just a little bit. I didn't even think about it until they mentioned it when they said that it just cluttered their inventory and bank with, a variety of different leveled runes of different types and all that. And I was like, that reminds me of charms, and I hate charms. And I'm like, you know what? This was a change that I didn't even think about, and I love it. I hate... Like, it does take a little bit out of the idea of, like, you will
The
never
excitement.
master this game ever because you'll never have level 7 runes in every single blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But I hate filling up my inventory and bags with one slot pieces of... I hate that. Hate it.
Well, because it was kind of a lose-lose. Like, either they made them more diverse by adding affixes to them, which turned them into a nightmare, or they had the like
mounts.
attuned to a specific skill, which also created the nightmare, or they did both, which created a super nightmare, or you take both of those away, at which point it's like, well, then you really only need like 2 or 3 level 7 golds and you're good.
What did you mean by the never have level 7s and everything? Where's that part come in?
Well, the idea, like, I don't know, it's the same thing with the gems, like, having to level them up, because weren't they going to work the same way as the gems, where you had to have, like, 3 or whatever level 4s, and they make a level 5?
No, they were going to drop, so
level
Yeah,
7s
it
would
was
actually
single
drop.
drops.
we're all going to drop in Inferno.
Well, that's just lame, that's not even fun at all. So there's no challenge in getting the highest level rune, then
They
that's
would
just
be
dumb, then my
over.
inventory is just going to be filled with a whole bunch of level 7.
Well,
For all
that's
my
the thing that
different
they're going to test out with affixes is to make them more special. So you're constantly on the hunt for that one perfect rune to complete your build with.
Oh, they were actually
Looking
still
for the,
thinking
like-
about that?
Yeah,
That
right,
was
like strength amount or something.
Oh, they didn't just think about it, they implemented it.
Yeah, they were testing it for a while.
I hated that idea.
Yeah, I wasn't fond of it either. Kind of cheapened it for me.
I remember us talking about that, but I seriously thought they were just thinking as one of their ideas on the back burner. Hey, what if we did...
Oh yeah, they implemented both affixes and attunement.
Which
So,
I'm
like-
not a fan of either.
Oh, yeah, that once you put it in a skill slot, like, that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was garbage, too. Yeah. Well, thanks for reminding me about all that crap. I definitely like
So-
the way it is now a lot more.
I'm okay with them not being items. However, I do miss the whole like gold, indigo, alabaster wording.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
it made it really easy to kind of communicate what you had, like what your build was.
It also made it easily identifiable as far as what each segment would do. Like, you know that
Yeah,
a gold
more or
rune would
less.
somehow more or less relate to you saving resources or generating resources. And the crimson pretty much always did damage.
I mean,
Yeah,
and now
it's-
they've all got the icons, and the icons do correspond to the the golds, the indigo, and whatever names. But those names are no longer present in the game, and no, I kind of miss those.
Right. It
Well,
did
the way
add
it
kind
is,
of
they could totally just put them back in.
Yeah.
Like you can just, when you're looking at it, the runes, like the 5 of them are all listed there. You can just say the one on the far left is your alabaster. So you can still, makes it easy for communicating instead of saying like, I have arcane orb with that rune that makes it explode.
The one
just saying
third from the
alabaster
left.
arcane orb. Yeah, the one in the middle, whichever that one is.
That would
It
be nice.
looks kind of like a dagger being held by a dude who's also eating an ice cream cone.
Ice cream
Yeah.
cone rune.
You guys see this thing
one.
right here? This whole little monument to blood.
Yeah, that's been in there before.
Yeah, no. I always, this is the scene I think of when people are posting that the game isn't dark and bloody and gory. There's no like naked virgins pinned to a wall or whatever.
I want to
And all
point
of these
out.
guys here are virgins. You know they are.
I want to point out though that Postal 3 has a gun that shoots cats that have AIDS. So this right here is nothing.
I love the AIDS part. Just makes it so funny. Cats can have AIDS. I didn't even know that was possible.
It's not.
Only if they're
Well,
heavy
That's how
user.
pimp it is. Barbarian only has 3 primary skills. That's all he needs.
I just love how fast that lightning is. Like, it literally just shot off and blew up that table before you even realized that something had happened at the table.
I love quick spells, quick draw.
Yeah.
Dude, one of my favorite ones is one of the Demon Hunter ones. Not so much for its execution, but for the sound effect and how it looks. The one that sounds like a mini cannon that you're shooting.
Impale?
No, I'll find it in a sec. Hold on.
No, it's the one we talked about originally that I was...
Evasive Fire.
Yeah, that's the one.
Freaking love that one. And I wish they would save it for like an end game spell just because I love how it sounds and looks.
Yeah, I always really loved the sound effect to
It's
it.
so awesome.
So, how do you guys feel about every level unlock something all the way to 60?
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
It made me like super excited to like I just wanted to keep going. Every character I started, I'm like, oh, well, next level I get this. Oh, and
Yeah.
then the level after that I get this, and it's amazing how just even the tiniest of carrots will make us salivate like Pavlov's dog.
It's so true. I mean, before you level up and be like, "Oh, I didn't get anything this time." Okay, well, on to the next one. But now it's
Well,
like,
and-
"Ooh, what did I get now? What rune do I get to play with? What skill do I have?"
Yeah, it was actually something that I was secretly sad about. That, you know, after like level, I don't know, was it 30? Nothing happened when you leveled up.
Right.
Nothing real. So it's nice. And then there is this perception that people are commenting on, the idea that, well, perhaps the runes that you unlock later at like level 48, there's the perception that they'll be stronger than the ones that you unlock right away. And to that
Yeah,
I
and
say, shut up.
Forgive me.
Well, it's just like, I mean, you might have that perception, but use it, and if you don't like it, then don't use it.
Well, and the big thing is that a lot of them are, since everything's all like percent based. I'm wondering how they're deciding which ones should be later. If they're just going off of kind of like
You know what?
complexity, or if they've got some other rubric, or if they're just sort of like
I bet you I know
tossing
what one of them
them out.
is. Right now, if you look at it, most of what were the golden runes aren't unlocked till way later. So resource management's going to be a little more difficult until the later stages of leveling. I don't know, at least with the wizard ones, like all of the golden runes were unlocked in like the 40s.
damn, that's odd because a lot of monk ones are like their first one that they get.
Oh, that's lame. Why does monk suck so much? Like the point in the game where you don't have resource problems, they give you the golden. Jeez, monk. Gosh. I don't know, because resources is something that you always have to worry about as a wizard, because it just gets owned so fast.
Which is this resource you speak of?
Yeah, I know.
I was actually thinking back to Diablo 2 days when to get from 85 to 95 took like forever and a day, and it had basically no benefit whatsoever. Those were the true achievement days.
It was funny, actually. My 99 that I got. What's the chicken? Oh, Hex. I thought it for a second there. I thought it was one of the companions. I was like, "What? That guy's massive." Like does he pick up items too? I don't even think I used all my stat and skill points on him. I think they were just left there because there was 1 point difference in something. It really didn't even matter. Like, that's one thing that I don't... People, like, I understand the joy you get out of, like, putting a point into something, but really the difference was, like, less than 1%. Like, who cares? You're not actually getting stronger.
So much
Much.
take your skill points and shit.
Every time I hit one of those frozen guys like that, it makes me go, yeah, there's a good reason why there's CC reduction gear in game. Because getting frozen for 3 seconds in later levels is death.
You're gonna die.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
Sure.
unless you're a monk and you have that passive where it basically reduces the damage to nothing
Yeah,
while you're incapacitated.
Or you're, what you call it? What's that class that rocks? Oh, a wizard, and then you just hit Diamond Sin and carry on like you were.
Carry on.
Can you hit Diamond Skin while you're frozen?
I don't know. I could in the PvP demo at BlizzCon. I don't know if you still can. I don't really use Diamond Skin in the beta for obvious reasons.
Nothing lives long enough.
Not to mention they also reduced it this patch version, which I'm sure again
Yeah.
reflects more the in-game content than the early.
100% on endgame, but I was worried about that. I was like, I don't think... When I looked at the number, I was like, I don't know if I even want to get Diamond Skin, because that number doesn't look like it's a whole lot. And they reduced it. I was like, Inferno is scary.
So
How would you guys feel about them moving more of the defensive skills to the later levels? Because early on, you really don't need defensive
Well,
skills.
see,
Like, what's the one they give you early on with Barbarian? The threat and shout or something like that, where it reduces damage. And it's just like, dude, I'm a little barbarian.
Well, that used to be
So,
that used to be the level
You did.
1 skill back
Yeah.
when we started beta.
you don't need it early on.
Joe, you just complained that you died with the monk in the
With
beta.
the monk,
That's
yeah.
the thing I was about
And
to
they
say.
even
I'm like,
gave him a defensive skill, and he
And
still
you had
sucked. That's why I'm
blinding
saying
flash.
he needs tweaking, man.
most of the classes probably don't need a defensive skill, but I think they need to give the monk like 3 or 4 really good to give him a fighting chance. Like, there's
No,
4
just to give Joe a
skeletons,
fighting
pop
chance.
blinding
I mean,
flash.
I would like to remind you all that the
Chance,
monk
man.
is the one classified as the advanced class.
Is
And-
it really?
You
Yeah.
need to pop your mantra of evasion. Like, let's just be honest. Monk needs everything.
I think Monk just doesn't agree with my playstyle.
Running
It
in there and
probably doesn't, because the monk by definition is a skill-based class. I mean, realistically,
I
all
never
of
had
his
a problem with him
abilities-
before in some of the other patches, though. I was
Well, I mean-
and taking names with him.
Let's face it, in some of the previous versions, they were so brain-dead easy. I mean, you had to run into like 600 arcane enchanted monsters to die in some of the previous versions.
I don't know. Maybe it's down to skill selection. I was doing all right once I got like a better arsenal of skills to choose from, but starting out, man,
Does
it's
it
struggling.
feel really weird how constrained the skill selection is? Like, I'm finding it feeling really weird.
Yeah, it is kind of
what do you mean?
That
going from the
your
freedom that we used to have to this.
like the way that they're presented is it's very, very proscribed.
Yeah, it's like we want you to use this now.
And And actually, by default, someone made a very interesting point on the forums, was that by default, a lot of skills or a lot of classes, if you're playing with that base functionality, you're going to pick a skill in one of your slots, and then you sit on it for 20 levels.
Yeah. That's so true for new players. I actually want to sit somebody down now who hasn't played and see how they fare with this new
I
system.
was about to say, well, is that necessarily a bad thing? Because they're getting other skills still. Like, I don't know about you, but with the Barbarian, I probably will be using Cleave for a good 60 levels.
Well, don't speak so soon.
I was gonna say,
Runes are amazing, and we haven't seen all the skills yet.
there's also another factor
So
to
true.
consider. Keep in mind right now, as of this moment, Cleave really outshines Exploding Palm in pretty much every fundamental way.
Yeah, that's true.
Now, that being said, in Inferno mode, Cleave will be nothing compared to Exploding Palm. Absolutely nothing. And the reason I say that is because everything within Cleave is weapon-based. Everything with Exploding Palm is basically percent of their life. So, when you hit those really super tough monsters and you cause 6 of them to explode at once with that rune effect, yeah, that's going to do a hell of a lot more damage than that sword or axe or whatever you're using at the time that really, it just slaughtered all the normal mode monsters. Maybe did pretty well against the nightmare monsters, but once you hit hell, it really sucked balls. You were really relying on somebody behind you that's a glass cannon to actually damage them enough to make them explode.
Hatred is too low.
The only difference being, though, there won't be any monks in Inferno because they'll just never make it there.
Well,
Unless they had like a wizard buddy to run them through, and I could see that happening.
All right. To kind of going back to my topic. So, for example, with the with the Witch Doctor here, so I unlocked my 4th skill slot at level 9, and I got Horrified. You don't get another skill in that until 21, and you don't even get a rune effect until 18. So it's an entire another 10 levels before anything happens to that skill slot.
And I'm not one to use Horrify. Well, unless I shouldn't speak so
It's
soon.
just
but
really
my
hard for me
playstyle,
to-
I'm not really a Horrify player, so...
It's just really hard for me to visualize if that's going to be a problem, not just because I'm not a new player. I just would have elective mode and just never use Horrify, and it wouldn't be a problem for me, but I just don't know if it's a bad thing, kind of... I mean, you can say forcing, but it's a bad thing kind of forcing or heavily guiding
I don't know,
new
I
players
think
into
some
having a
guidance is
defensive
good.
skill all the
I
time.
think mostly what I end up seeing being the result of it is that people playing with the normal mode on are going to end up with a bunch of skills that they never use.
yeah.
that could be a possibility.
I guess from my own perspective, since none of these things really affect me, I'm just going to hit elective mode at the beginning.
And this was actually, sorry, I remember what the point I thought up earlier with that was, is that situation where people end up with a bunch of skills that they don't learn how to use, they don't know how to use, and they don't bother using, and they don't, it doesn't do anything to graduate people to elective mode, which goes counter to Blizzard's stated intentions of turning casual players into hardcore.
But why would they not learn how to use them if they're being forced to use them? Every skill is available for them to use. It's just the skill slot. It's the combination of skills that they won't always be able to use. Like, they won't be able to use, this skill with that skill with that skill. They'll be, pigeonholed into slot 2 as Horrify or whatever. They'll still have all the skills available to them. It's just not the combination.
Well, because if a skill is awkward to use, and if it's just like, oh, well, I got that because it's the one that I got for that slot, you've stripped out the critical thought process that goes into actually figuring out what your skills do. And so instead of it being, oh, I've got Horrify now, and I'm going to put it here because it does, what does it do again? You're just you're like, oh, I've got my 4th slot, and there's my 4th slot skill, and okay. And there's not necessarily any reason to ever hit that, especially as you get to, like, you know, your keys 2, 3, and 4, which are further and further away from your mind.
I don't know. I don't know if there'd be any difference in that situation with that kind of player if it was on elective mode or not, because at that level you're given Horrify, and what does it matter if they choose to put it on slot 3 or if it just automatically gets put there? If they don't know how to use it and won't ever use it, they won't ever use it, even if it is elective mode.
I think we're spending a lot of time on a topic that doesn't really matter.
I think it does matter, because, you know, they've said it's like easy to learn, difficult to master. You know, we turn casual players into hardcore. How does the current system turn casual players into hardcore players? Where's the point at which people make jumps? Where does it encourage them to make that jump, and how does it lead them into that choice? It doesn't. In order to turn elective mode on, you need to know it exists and go into the options and find it.
I just remembered my rebuttal to this. The point at which a newbie player, someone who really doesn't grasp the fundamentals of it, has been playing a while but doesn't actually understand these core concepts. You want to know the point where they're going to switch over?
As you should.
Yep.
That first moment they get completely slaughtered in PvP. Then they will want to know. Guarantee you, that will be the turning point for a lot of people.
Fair enough, you know? Oh, wow, my inventory is full of... Wow, I've got a ton of blues.
I'm up to 79 myself. Let's craft
79 what?
X's. Essences.
Shoot.
Some of these blues might even be good.
Nope, just craft them. Or
I don't care.
Just salvage them all. Don't look at them.
Going blind. I'm on a salvaging.
Oh, that one you just clicked on, that was an upgrade, sorry.
No, it wasn't. It's just a subtle essence.
Don't lie to yourself.
I need boots. Give me boots. These boots, man.
I love these
walking.
nice one-handed axes that are loaded down with intelligence. That really helps me.
Yeah, I got a couple of those.
Oh, yeah.
I worked my hands to the
I'm on the mode. This is something that's funny about making a new character. I didn't have any gear other than a belt to give this guy, but I'm still in the mode of not picking up whites, so he's running around with a two-handed axe, a rare belt, and nothing else.
Nice.
Should probably pick up some armor.
Yep, I had that problem too. I finally, with this patch, started getting out of the habit of picking up white items. I still grab them on accident every now and then, but whenever I have a new character now, I'm like, oh wait, I should be picking up stuff.
Well, you know, picking up white items when you first start the game isn't a bad idea. It's a nice little boost to your gold count very early.
Yeah,
After
that's
that,
true.
it's not worth it. But
after you have a few characters, I mean, it's shared gold, so
yeah.
all the white items.
Oh, guys, I've ran into a problem with my weak barbarian. There's skeleton spawners here, and I'm not wearing anything.
I'll be right
There's
there
a
with
tomb
my
guardian and a skeleton spawner. This is
Sorry, my entire inventory was filled up with axes that I'm going to disintegrate. So...
it's okay. A witch doctor came and saved my naked barbarian.
I am now crafting another inventory full of axes.
My hatred is too low.
So you guys see yourselves clicking elective mode the instant the game comes out?
Oh yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
When I read
Yeah.
about it, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try out the default system and see how I like it. I got 3 levels in, and I was like, screw this, dude.
Yeah.
I
I like
gave
freedom, damn it.
I gave it a fair run through. I probably gave it maybe like 10 levels. You know, on one of the classes.
I haven't turned it off yet. The base, I haven't turned elective mode on yet.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. The way they set up the wizard was actually like the exact way that I played it. Like I had my signature spell in my left mouse button, the thing I spam in my right mouse button, and then I had Frost Nova on key 1 and Wave of Force on key 2. So like,
Yeah.
it's like we're on the same page.
Wizard flows very well in that sense, but the others, a lot of the other classes, it just doesn't make any sense at all. Or it makes a limited amount of sense, but the way that they've got a lot of them set up, like it just does not jive with how I play the classes, which skills I like, you know.
See, now that you actually bring up a good point that the other classes don't make sense, as in, like, why would you play any other class than a wizard? That doesn't really make any sense. Maybe the classes as a
because
general
you're looking
just
to
don't make
be.
sense. So funny.
Sure, we'll call it that.
Oh.
You mad, brah? See, that's actually funny calling him brah.
Ooh, new level. What did I get? Tangling shot. I never used that one.
26 of dex.
Hooked spines.
5,
Baking
47.
powder. Squeeze me.
Holy crap, I'm so weak.
Apparently, my fetish shaman can't turn this unburied into a chicken.
You know, it'd be funny if they had, like, the model of the chicken scaled with the size of the monster you turned into one.
Oh man.
Turn Diablo into a chicken, like a barbarian-sized chicken. Yeah, there's this frozen minion guy I can't kill. I don't do any damage to him.
This is
Very
actually
scary for me.
This is actually extremely surprising.
Help me! Help me!
I know. I'm gonna die. Where's my rejuve potion? Ulta 4.
That's how I was with the monk earlier.
These superior...
Telling people they think this game is so easy. They really need to start running around naked in a 4-player game. I'm telling you, you're gonna run into a couple of guys. It's gonna be too friendly to you.
Did anyone watch that video of the...
Level 1.
Yes.
Not all of it because it was 20 minutes long, but yes.
Yeah, I mean, I
This one,
skipped
what are you
through
guys
it.
talking about?
Level 1 killed the Skeleton King. And I was like,
Oh,
well, when
that's a-
somebody has, like, predictable moves like that, yeah?
Naked level 1. Don't forget
Oh, yeah.
that. That makes a big difference.
Witch Doctor, also a big difference.
I bet
It
you
was a
it was
wizard
similar to
than
me
half the
killing
time.
Diablo for the first time.
Technically, the
Dying
Witch
really
Doctor
bad.
was superior in every way in that category, so...
Yes, because of the dot.
Yeah. Logic.
Whirlwind.
Now, if you wanted to brag, do it with the Demon Hunter naked level 1.
Oh man.
What is
Just
their...
piercing shot?
They start with piercing, not like
Yeah.
Hungering Arrow?
Yeah, hungering arrow.
It wouldn't matter if you were naked. That's the whole point. You wouldn't be able to fire
Oh, yeah, no weapon.
because you... Yeah. You'd have to go up and punch them with no skill.
Wait, can I? I don't want to test it.
No, we'll be here all night.
Well, I was gonna test if I can even use poison dart without a weapon, but then I'd have to wait for the cooldown. And then I hate that skill, so I'd have to wait to switch back to haunt.
I'm finally back.
First world problems.
First world problems.
I found surprisingly my DPS is highest on these axes that just add stats. Like out of all the different things, stats added more damage than the actual damage ones did.
Makes sense.
Yeah, each one of these has 26 to dex.
That's a lot.
That
Yeah.
is a lot. Holy crap, that's a lot.
The funny thing is they also each have another stat added. One has 18 to intelligence, the other one has 19 to strength. So it actually also makes me a hell of a lot tougher as well.
Ooh, Hammer of the Ancients rune.
Yeah, buddy.
I don't like how put a rune in it activates the cooldown.
Yeah, hey,
It's
like that,
bad.
John Dar.
Quit
I love
moving him around!
I love moving him around. It's so funny.
So frustrating.
Oh no,
Turn him into
I
a
can turn
chicken!
it into a chicken.
I didn't know you could do that.
That was rad.
Did you turn John Dar into a chicken?
I did.
That's excellent.
Oh,
Don't you kill him. I need his loot. Don't you kill him.
You can't kill him anymore.
No, they got... Oh, okay, good. What? He didn't drop anything.
hey, dude, he
For
dropped
me.
a tarred shield of the tortoise.
He dropped
I just
gold.
grabbed it before you could.
Vampiric broad
Yeah.
Did you steal
we,
my loots?
We steal your loots.
Douche.
Still did it.
That's so rude.
Ninja loots.
Oh, I love this game so much.
As do I. Except for that maggot skill. It's pretty pathetic.
Eels.
I don't see any
They're
eels.
roping eels. Roping.
You
Like
show
just,
me an
just
eel.
wrap your mind around that. Groping eels. That's some Japanese porn right there.
I was gonna say, that's hentai heavy there. Although technically it should have tentacles. And eels do not have tentacles.
They are a tentacle.
Rolling Thunder is pretty.
Let's see it.
I don't have any fury.
Get mad already!
So tell me about that bola shot thing there. What does that actually do?
Expands the range of the explosion.
Looks pretty sweet.
Sweet
Alright,
rune.
here it is.
effect.
Ah, nice.
It's like a
It's
cone
all
almost.
green and coned and boo.
Green and wavy.
Oh, what? My Barbarian has an empty equipment slot. I don't think so.
Did you see the lightning just kind of rip through that segment on the wall? It just randomly pops up. You're like, hey, what's the lightning gonna do next? It's gonna take out all those benches. Just because it can.
Hmm. You know, one thing that I'm actually going to be really excited for? All the options that I check off in the menus. I'm
Actually
excited for them
sticking?
to actually stay.
Yeah.
Between
Like
sessions,
the one
yes.
to remember my account name. That would be great.
That one's working these days. Or it's working for me.
All lives.
It's gone back and forth for me.
Now, all of the ones, like, I have to
And the
keep turning
options.
elective mode back on,
Yeah.
and I need to keep turning
Tips off.
tooltips off. Or not or I need to turn advanced tooltips on and turn tutorials off.
Did the magic find rate go up this patch?
I have no idea.
I have found 2 rares in our little video playthrough so far.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
How about that?
One on the barbarian, one on the monk. Both of them, you know, one was a bow, one was a crossbow, so I don't know what's up with that. But
It's a sign. You're supposed to main as a demon hunter.
well, no, actually it's a sign that the demon hunter is so
totally passed
pathetic that they have to give you everything just for you to want to play it. You know, sadly, if you look at the crafting system, that's not far from the truth.
Yeah.
But that's neither here nor there.
Alright, guys, I'm going to put myself in an unwinnable situation. Naked Barbarian activating the 4 Pillars event. You know what else I thought was kind of strange? You can just walk past it.
Really?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah,
just
you don't actually have
run
to
through
do
the
it.
door.
You just noticed
Didn't
this?
know that.
Wow, why would I ever even try to leave? This event's awesome.
I know. It's one of the few awesome ones. I love one who's just 4 times.
Oh, I'm gonna die. It's been nice knowing you guys.
I tend to
Whirlwind.
do
Save
things
me, Joe. Save me.
Whirlwind.
for this, just for the sake of doing things. You know what I mean? Like, I know I don't. I probably always want to kill the pillars, but yeah, I like to know if I can get past them, so I test those kinds of things. Smell.
I'm yelling at them and they don't care.
Whirlwind.
Whirlwind.
I need a hatred to do that.
Are you showing off that you can whirlwind and I can't?
Yes, I'm rubbing it in your face.
It's little demon hunter girl is my savior. Thank you, little demon hunter girl.
You're welcome.
Whirlwind.
Whirlwind. It does excellent on jars. Pew, 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 pew. See that?
My shout doesn't work on jars. I'm sad.
My hatred is too
Honestly,
low.
when I read that Frost Nova no longer deals damage, my first thought was, what am I going to use to kill jars?
Yeah, actually, I'm pretty sure there's a couple of shots of me in this beta, or in this footage of this episode of me using Frost Nova on jars. It's still such a habit. And the jars mock me.
I was thinking about that a lot, like your bread and butter skills for taking out jars.
Wave of Force is still amazing.
Yes. It's a good one.
It's also got the
secondary.
huge range.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's so good for...
Disintegrate was always a good one.
Yeah.
How does the frost beam do?
It just takes longer, because it only hits one thing at a time.
Yeah.
It slows the jars down, and their attack is less than it was before.
Hey, that's a great
You
thing.
you
to
can
have.
ruin it for a snare on criticals.
Look.
Oh, yeah.
That is the best thing you could have when fighting a witch doctor PvP. Because when they start throwing those jumping spiders, you're gonna be ready.
Oh yeah, those jars are just gonna be stuck in the air. They're not gonna go anywhere. Take that, witch doctors.
My hatred is too low.
So, this is a hot topic on the wizard forum right now. What's the best, movement, I'm doing my air quotes, movement skill
Best
of the
movement
game
skill?
do you think will be?
Like teleport versus like within the wizard or
Teleport,
within all of them.
vaults, each of the teleport, vault, leap, all those things. Spirit walk, and
Vault
dashing
is
strike.
superior. Vault is superior in every way, I'd say, as far as getting around.
I know leap attack can take you an awful lot of places.
Dashing strike, you need an enemy to do it.
Right, otherwise, dashing strike would be... As long as there are enemies around, dashing strike probably is one of the best, but since that may not always be the case, I pretty much automatically go with that. Leap attack has a little bit too high a cooldown to be the best of it. And it only is actually superior if you're standing on the edge of a cliff and you don't feel like taking the stairs. So I think all in all, Vault will win, as long as you have that passive to make you run faster after you vault.
You guys wouldn't say teleport is. Goes through anything, it's instant, and with wormhole on it, or, well, I guess it's probably still called wormhole, you can spam it a lot.
Well, actually, you can't go through anything because you still need to see where you're going.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, obstacles that are, like the church little building or whatever, the gazebo in the middle of the graveyard, you could teleport to the other side of it.
What's the cooldown on teleport?
Base is 16 seconds, but the wizard has a lot of things to reduce that.
It would really depend on whether or not you could get the Vault Demon Hunter to have a lot of discipline. Since you can get discipline from items, it could actually be a pretty close call.
Would you say that teleport is the worst?
No.
No,
I'm going to go with the Witch Doctor Spirit Walk. Seeing as it doesn't actually go anywhere.
Yeah, I would probably agree with that. I mean, Spirit Walk is still
Useful.
It's still a good skill, but if we're just
Oh yeah, it's a great
within that comparison, I would say, yeah, it's probably the weakest of the movement skills as a movement skill. It's a very good escape skill, but it's not a very good movement skill.
My hatred is too low.
It is what it is.
That's interesting. There's just somebody seems to believe that teleport is the worst, and it's not even close to comparable to the others, and the cooldown's way too long.
No, are you kidding? We saw at BlizzCon, like, Laura with the
BlizzCon.
wormhole one. She's just like...
I
across
made
the
an
entire
entire
arena.
lap around the arena. And that's not even wearing, like amazing gear. There's a bunch of white gear that they were wearing, so like with a lot of increased attack speed or faster cast rate or whatever, and yeah, that's interesting. I just wanted some other opinions.
Some logical ones?
Well, it's one of the people that no matter what you say to him, he doesn't actually comprehend. Like, I think English has like a 7th language for him. Like,
Oh, well, I mean,
Not
if it
very
was my
long.
7th language, you know.
I wouldn't
I
pay much
probably-
attention to
yeah.
how it works at all. But
Man, that is weird. This belt is pretty much exactly identical.
So, does Caltrops still suck?
Yes.
They
Okay.
improved the slow on it, but I think they reduced the damage, is that right? Or did it do damage?
It doesn't do damage.
Oh. Well, I think they did improve the slow on it, didn't they?
something like 5%.
Or I don't know. I never use that spell anyway.
Well, I mean, it's not
I don't know.
really...
That's still
it's-
crap.
I'm not
It's-
a good one to
I was
have,
gonna
so-
say, it's not a beta skill. It doesn't do damage. Anything that does not do damage and does not move you somewhere is not a beta skill.
Yep. Or not a Joe
Are
skill.
you saying
Wait,
Cross
what?
Nova is not a beta skill?
What?
That's a definite beta skill.
Wait, what?
Well, it doesn't do damage and it doesn't move you anywhere.
All right. It technically prevents them from moving. So let's just
Oh,
expand
okay,
the movement equation ever so slightly. It also prevents them from shooting you, swinging at you.
Oh, I get what you're saying about...
That is
Nothing like
cool.
discipline.
Wait, are you
False
saying beta
feedback.
skill in terms of, like, skills that people actually use in the beta because they're useful?
Yeah, more or less.
Oh, okay. So in the sense that, like...
Yeah, in the sense that someone in their right mind would get it in the beta. Like how, evasion skill for the monk is pretty much worthless unless you're Joe.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Like, I
You
mean,
don't-
Joe probably wants to load his monk up with Breath of Heaven and Flash of Light.
Exactly.
And you'll probably want to use the dodge rune on Fists of Thunder.
Are you sure he can support using Fist of Thunders with all the defensive skills he's going to need to get? I don't think he'll even have an attacking skill. I think he'll just be there in a corner, shuddering.
No, I think he can squeeze one in. Mantra of Evasion, Breath of Heaven, Flash of Light, and there's 3, so we still got. He could have the dodge rune on Fist of Thunder.
Guys,
Can
teleport
we
to me.
use
Check this
shields?
out. Teleport to me. Right meow. Oh, I killed him! Son of a, follow me around. We need to find another guy.
I'm so confused.
Or to show
What are we
you the
looking for?
animation for
I'm
the
turned
rune
on.
caltrops.
We can probably find somebody to pop out of a grave here
I'm
somewhere.
pretty out of a grave, or
Maybe up here. Nope.
let's go out into the Weeping Hollow. We missed tons of stuff out there.
Yep.
Oh,
This is gonna be
something
so
that I've noticed.
anticlimactic.
Probably. They reduce the range. Actually, that looks pretty cool.
Isn't it?
It looks
Yeah.
awesome. Not gonna
It
lie, that
almost
looks
makes me
really
wish the
awesome.
skill was useful.
It actually is pretty useful. It slows them down a lot.
Yeah, but it's a melee range skill.
Well,
Arm
if you run up on a group of pretty quick moving monsters and you just drop it and run back,
Yeah.
it has.
I can't tell you how
Inferno.
many times in D2 with fast enchanted minotaurs that I really wanted that. Really wanted that.
I hated the ones that were like fast enchanted with extra fast and fast enchanted, and like they were super fast, and they were catching me as I was teleporting.
Oh, and they were frenzy, like my example? Yeah, exactly. Frenzy. Frenzy, extra fast, extra fast, extra fast.
I'd see Caltrop actually being useful later.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's very useful, just not in the beta. No one's gonna use anything that doesn't instantly kill things for the most part in the beta.
It's to death. All right, let's wrap this up. I gotta wake up early and board a plane. I wish I wasn't leaving so I could play more. So much fun.
Yeah.
Well, that's what you get for going to visit the International Space Station.
International Space Station.
I wish I didn't have this whole week off so I could go to university and not play. I'm torn about it.
Oh, rub it in, jerk. Alright, everybody. Let's get out of here. Say goodbye, gentlemen.
Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye, gentlemen.
Whirlwind.
Farewell.
We'll see you all next time on The World Stone Keep.